Welcome into our Locked On NFL Insider Report. I'm joined by Isaiah Stanback, once again, our Locked On NFL Insider. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Lots of stuff going on in the NFL today. We're going to start with Aaron Rodgers, though, because he is probably the biggest name so far in the offseason that we were kind of unsure. I think at one point we had kind of decided he was definitely not going back to Green Bay, but apparently he is. So what was your immediate reaction and kind of were you surprised as I was?
Congrats. Congrats, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, aka Mr. Discount Double Check. He finalized exactly what he was trying to get accomplished this entire time. These guys have been playing a game of Uno seemingly for the past few years, going back and forth where he felt like he wasn't being provided the weapons that he needed to go forth and be in position to win a championship. And obviously the tussle between him and the organization as they went forth last year to go ahead and move up and grab Jordan Love. He obviously wasn't very happy about that, so they played their draw too, and he said, "Oh, okay, you guys want to get me with that one? Okay, here's a good old wild card." And he came back with an MVP candidate last year at NFC Championship appearance, and then this year, obviously, he came back with camp, all the things that revolved around camp and the immunization versus the vaccination, and he doubled down with that draw four card by going out and again getting the MVP candidate, winning that trophy, winning that prize, and now walking away with this 4 years, $200 million deal, $153 million guaranteed, $50 million per year, the highest contract in NFL history. He has that crown, and they can't take it away from him.
I feel like so much of what we talked about was how are they going to make this money work? How are they going to get this relationship back together, right? Because we see these, these things where the team and the star player, they're fighting and then they just never figure it out and everybody loses. But they both wanted to make it work, I guess. Mm-hmm. They got the money to work somehow. But how are they going to figure this out with the rest of the team? Because we've talked about this. That is a lot of money, and it didn't seem like Green Bay had a ton to work with in the first place in terms of cap space, and now they're doing this.
Yeah, it's still a bad scenario over there in Green Bay. They still have a lot of financial woes that they have to figure out between now and the start of the new season, the new year, on Wednesday, the 16th. They have to figure a lot of things out. And one of those things they took care of today, which was enabled by giving Aaron Rodgers a lot of that guaranteed money in the form of $153 million. They were able to then franchise tag Devontae Adams, obviously their number one threat on offense aside from Aaron. They were able to do that today. But by doing that, that's another $20.5 million that they have to throw on top of the cap. So now the Green Bay Packers sit at $44.49 million over the cap. They have to get underneath that league cap ceiling by next Wednesday. I don't know what's going to take place, but you guys can please have your ears to the wire, because there's going to be a lot of big names that are going to be getting released and restructuring of contracts.
And this goes to a little bit of what Rodgers was saying most of the time in the offseason. He doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. He wants to compete for championships. He wants to go to Super Bowls. They had a great team this year. They underperformed in the playoffs. But are they going to be in any better position in this year, next year, the year after, when he's handicapping them in terms of money?
That's the question that everybody's asking right now. He's kind of a double-edged sword. Well, you're saying that you need more resources, but you're obviously putting a lot of demand on a team financially and a lot of strain. So which one is it, Aaron? And I think I can't believe that he would get into this deal without having the leverage that he's been seeking for these past few years, and that is to have some form of say in the opportunities to be able to make decisions in terms of personnel groupings. So I feel as if he's going to have some kind of say in restructuring these contracts. He has an understanding of finances in terms of what their game plan is to release guys and create more cap space so that he can go out and get extra weapons that he needs to push this Green Bay team to that next level, being that he only has one championship belt.
And going into this, we should also say that, there's going to be a ton of expected of him, because obviously we expect him to be a Super Bowl contender every season. That division's not too much to worry about. And now with him coming back, getting his money, supposedly being happy, people are going to expect him to try and get another title for Green Bay, but he's not necessarily in a great position. He might be by default just because, he's been there before. But what realistically, is this a team we can expect to see maybe in the Super Bowl?
That's a question that everybody asks every single year, and that's the reason why they call him Mr. Aaron. He loves pressure. This is one
Yeah.
man who, in the history of quarterbacks, he loves the pressure. He loves the people doubting him. It's the reason why he went back to back in the MVP over the last 2 years. He is that guy. If there's any quarterback in this NFL currently who can go out there and make things happen with less than what we consider to be adequate personnel, it is Mr. Aaron Rodgers. So I feel as if what they have right now, obviously they have some maneuvering to make, but I think that going forward, regardless if this roster stays relatively the same or if they make any additions, I think Aaron Rodgers, as long as they have him at quarterback, they always have a shot.
Rodgers loves the doubters. He will have plenty of them as Green Bay tries to make this new situation work out. But I'm sure Packers fans are happy to see him back in town leading their team. Isaiah, thank you once again. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On NFL Insider Report.